Okay. So, yeah, the TV's being lowered for everybody that's worried about that. Um, hey there. Hi, Video Reel. Hi, Annie B. Hi, Linda. Hi, Sharon. Hi, Annie. Anne. I don't know why I keep calling you Annie. Hi, Shelly Joe. Hi, Deborah Vancouver, Nicole, Margot.
Demo amazing fabric shaver. Only 8.
What is that? Okay, that's not
That was me by mistake. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
I was trying to get YouTube on my phone.
Okay, just mute your Zoom and then we won't
Can you
hear.
tell?
Okay. All right. So let's see. Shelly Joe, Shannon, Chris Ree. So how many watched the trial today? Hi, Farm Life. I did. Okay. Anyway, we're going to show the interview. The woman that was the first, she was the first witness, right? Rutland. Let me see. Yeah, they have the interview. Okay, so the first witness interviewed, well, she didn't do the interview. She was in the back seat right behind Alex. And they had Special Agent Owen that did the interview along with Murdaugh in the passenger seat. And Murdaugh's lawyer was behind the driver, Special Agent Owen, who was not the driver. Okay, it was just, they were just doing the interview. So I am going to show that interview. I have it. I requested discovery from the Cleveland County Sheriff's Office, and I am going to show the interview in the Tahoe in its entirety in just a second here. Now, just a reminder, if you're in Zoom listening, you have to mute in Zoom and listen on YouTube because there will be no sound because I'm going to mute my mic. All right. They asked that detective, I think she's a detective, no, Rutland, what did you first see? She said she was overcome by the smell. She mentions the smell, overwhelming smell. And she said a tremendous amount of blood, spatter, brain matter in the feed room, but that Alex Murdaugh was clean. She described him as being clean. She was the one that obtained the search warrant, and they said, did it, let me see, we're going to go through the interview, and you'll see her in the back seat. Never was asked how Alex turned her son over. So let's see, crawling around. Oh, it was really weird. The prosecutor was kind of, did you find the prosecutor? It wasn't Creighton, it was another prosecutor. That guy was pretty rude, wasn't he? You know, for a minute there I thought, gosh, was he on the, did they already start the cross-examination? Because he was like, just go sit down. And then when she answered something, and she answered it loud and clear, he was like, he asked it again, like, and then he was like, oh, sorry. Like, did anybody notice that prosecutor? Anybody notice that today? That was really very odd. Maybe the guy was having a bad day, or maybe he can't hear. I'm thinking he might not be able to hear too well, but still, when he told her to go sit down, he didn't say like, well, please take a seat over there. He goes like this, sit down now, like that, like something like that. It was pretty rude. Okay, so anyway, this guy goes down to like show how you would turn somebody over to take a pulse, and of course, he's got his knee down and his hands down, and he's like, how could he not have blood on him if this is what he's doing, right? Okay, so then she arrived on scene at 12:22 a.m. So it was actually June 8th when you'll see this interview takes place. And she said that there was sheets on the body. She saw an all-terrain vehicle. She saw chunks of Maggie's hair and a broken earring located near the tire of an all-terrain vehicle. She saw foot impressions, and And what was the number of Randy Murdaugh? So she was around many days after this. She was around on the 18th when they were doing like pond searches, river searches. She also was able to determine that some of those tire tracks were caused by the guy that took care of the dogs. She did, visually put that together, those two, the truck and the tire tracks there. On June 16th, they were searching the river for evidence. They used ATVs. They canvassed the 1,700 acres. They had dive teams in the ponds. They searched. Now, this is something strange. They searched the pickup that Paul drove, but when upon cross-examination, you find out, okay, you had a bolo, but you didn't know that Paul and his uncle switched vehicles, and it was actually Paul's uncle that was driving the pickup back to Moselle when he got the call, and the pickup broke down, and he just abandoned it in a field. This doesn't make sense. Where is that uncle's vehicle? Where is his vehicle? I don't know. Is it the one that's in that? They didn't even talk about where his vehicle was. So let's see. She saw brown hair in Maggie's hands, she said, from crime scene and autopsy photos. And it's noted in her report. She said she saw scratches and a bruise on Paul's cheek, but then the cross-examination said, well, didn't he fall on face first onto gravel? Paul switched with the Uncle John, and his uncle was rushing to get to the scene and broke down. Search warrant was executed. They don't talk about searching the house. Again, she does mention being in the foyer when they were retrieving his clothes. Special Agent Owen was getting the clothes. And she mentions being in the foyer, but they don't mention searching the house, okay? Let's see. They talk about the black box they got from the Chevy Suburban. They also towed Maggie's Mercedes. And let's see, so this brown hair and those clumps of hair, and then there were different clumps of hair behind a door. This another one we'll testify about. But let's look at this film, okay? This body cam footage. Let me pull this up over here. Again, if you're in Zoom, please mute, and you're going to have to watch on YouTube. Okay, let me move this. Okay, I'm going to mute, and I'm going to check and make sure you can hear and see.
All right, sir. I left the house without my watch.
12:57.
All right, Mr. Murdaugh, state your full name for me, please.
Richard Alexander Murdaugh.
Audio's good for me.
And spell your last name so I get it correct.
Murdaugh.
All right. And you go by Alec?
Yes, sir.
And date of birth, Mr. Murdaugh?
May 27th, 1968.
And a good phone number for you.
803-942-1227.
All right, sir. And sir, what was your name?
Yeah, Danny Henderson.
Okay. All right. As I stated, I'm David Owen in Lower Rutland with Colleton County, and I'm with SLED. I hate to have to do this.
I
but
understand.
Yeah,
I totally
yeah,
understand.
yeah.
So you don't have any problem
Yeah.
with it.
So just start at the top. Take your time.
Like when I came back here, I mean, I pulled up and I could see him, and you know, I knew something was bad. I ran out. I knew it was really bad. My boy over there, I could see it was.
So sorry, Mr.
And I could see his brain on his. And I ran over to Maggie, and actually, I think I tried to turn Paul over first. You know, I tried to turn him over, and I don't know, I figured it out. His cell phone popped out of his pocket. I started to try to do something with it, thinking maybe, but then I put it back down really quickly. Then I went to my wife, and I mean, I could see.
Did you touch Maggie at all?
I did. I touched them both.
Okay.
I tried to take, I tried to do it as limited as possible, but I tried to take their pulse on both of them. And, you know, I called 911 pretty much right away, and she was very good. I talked to her. I told her I was going to get off the phone to call some family members. I did that. And
What family members did you call? Do you
I
remember?
called my brother Randy, and I called my brother John. And I tried to call a little boy, real good friend that's right around the corner from here, but I didn't get him.
Okay. What all was around Paul when you walked up?
Blood.
Anything else?
I mean, there were some body things, yes, sir.
I mean, like any other evidence? I know you said the phone fell out the pocket, but did you see anything else that didn't belong or shouldn't belong or that wasn't part of Paul?
No, sir, not the, no, sir.
How about Maggie?
No, sir.
You didn't see anything around them? What made you come out here tonight?
I went to, my mom's a late stage Alzheimer's patient. My dad's in the hospital. My mom gets anxious when she does. I went to check on them and Maggie. Maggie's a dog lover, and she fools with the dogs. And I knew she'd gone to the kennel. I was at the house. I left the house and went to my mom's for just a little while. Tried to call her when I left. Texted her, no response. When I got back to the house was obviously nobody was in there, so I figured they're still up here fooling around. Paul was gonna be getting set up to plant. Our sunflower seeds got sprayed and died, and he was refiguring to plant the sunflower seeds.
Okay.
So I came back up here and I drove up and saw and called.
Had Maggie and Paul been arguing over anything?
No.
What was their relationship like?
Wonderful.
Wonderful. How about yours and Maggie's?
Wonderful. I mean, I'm sure we had little things here and there, but we had a wonderful marriage, wonderful relationship.
And yours and Paul's relationship?
As good as it could be.
How old is Paul?
22.
Okay. You know his date of birth?
I do. April 11th, 96 is his brother's. April 14th, 99 is Paul's.
And how about, what's Maggie's full name?
Margaret Brandstetter Murdaugh.
And her date of birth, sir?
September 15th, 1968.
Have y'all been having any problems out here? Trespassers,
None
people
that,
breaking in?
none that I know of. The only thing that what comes to my mind is my son Paul was in a boat wreck a couple years ago, and there's been he was charged with being arrested for being the driver. There's been a lot of negative publicity about that, and there's been a lot of people online just really vile stuff. But when Paul's out and about, I mean, people routinely, I don't think I know the full story, because I don't think they give it to me, but I mean, he's been punched and hit and just attacked a lot. So, but I mean, nothing like this.
Yeah. Any one person in particular or group of people
I don't know.
that you could think of?
Not that I know, no, sir.
Has he, other than being assaulted, has he received any direct threats related to the boat accident?
Oh, yes. All the time he gets
recently?
threats. Yes, sir. I mean, he gets them all the time.
Okay.
He gets them all the time.
What kind of,
I'm gonna kick your ass, I've never been privy firsthand,
Is that through social media or?
No, ma'am.
in person?
It's mostly like if he goes out places is what he goes out like somewhere. He's in college, so if he goes out is what I understand.
Okay.
And I can find out better details from some of his younger friends on that.
Who's his best friend?
His best friend in Colombia is Will's Chapman, Will Loving, Bobby Boyle. Bobby Boyle, Will Chapman, and Paul were getting ready to move into a house together in Colombia.
you said Will Chapman and Will Loving?
Will's with an S,
okay.
Chapman, and Will with an L, Loving.
Okay.
Around here, his best friends are clearly Nolan Tootin and Rogan Gibson.
Tootin? Nolan Tootin?
Yes, sir.
And what was the other one? I'm sorry.
Rogan Gibson.
Have you talked with any of these guys tonight?
Talked with Nolan, yes, sir.
Is he out here?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I tried to call Rogan, was one of the people he's the boy that I told you lives
Okay,
around the corner.
okay.
That's very, he's just a good, helpful young man. You mind if I open the door really quickly?
Go right ahead. Do what you need to do. So is there anybody that you can think of that we need to talk to tonight? Is there a name that comes to mind?
I mean, I can't tell you anybody that I'm overly suspicious of off the top of my head.
Okay.
I mean, this is such a stupid thing. I'm even embarrassed to say it. but it just didn't make any sense. I just hired a guy out here, and he wasn't cutting the mustard, but I hadn't told him this yet. Paul's been working with him a lot. He killed the sunflower seeds in our dove field just recently, which is why Paul was here doing this. He told Paul a story the other day about how when he was in high school, he got in a fight with some black guys. And the FBI undercover team observed him fighting those guys and put him on an undercover team with 3 Navy SEALs. And that their job was to kill radical Black Panthers. And they did that from Myrtle Beach to Savannah. Now, I really don't think this guy, is probably the person, but that's just so friggin'.
Yeah, that's kind of far-fetched story.
It's weird. But he was off today.
Okay.
He took his daddy to the doctor.
What's his name?
CB Rowe.
ROWE?
Yeah, and I sent him a message to text me earlier today about the sunflowers, and he called me back when I was on the way to my mom's house.
Did you talk to him at that time?
Briefly, I was on the phone with a lawyer friend of mine named Chris Wilson from Bamberg, so I told him I'd call him back tomorrow, see him in the morning.
When you briefly talked to Mr. Rowe, what was his demeanor or attitude? Or
I mean, it seemed normal. I mean, I asked him about the sunflowers, and so, I mean, I'm sure he's a little bit.
Where does he live?
I don't exactly know. Somewhere in Bronson.
Okay. Do you have his phone number?
I do.
You got it with you, please, sir?
I do. But I do think him and Paul got along pretty well. That's just really, really weird. All right. CB. Here, I know he called me, so I'll go to that. Okay.
843-540-9335.
You need to get that phone on the charge, Alec, if you can.
Is that an iPhone?
Yes, sir.
Watch your leg for a second, please.
Thank you.
When did he tell that story to Paul?
Sometime last week.
Okay.
Sometime last week. My son Paul actually, I really do not think, in all honesty, that it's him, but I know y'all got to check it out. But Paul was so taken aback by it that he sent, I'll find it, I got it on my phone. He recorded him saying bits and pieces of it.
Okay.
No. But for all his weirdness, I do think they got along pretty good.
How long had he been working here?
I guess about 3 or 4 pay periods, so 8 weeks, a couple months.
Okay. Going back to the boat incident, anybody on that boat really have a hard on for Paul that you would think would come after him, or know of any direct threats from people on the boat?
I don't know of any direct threats between any of the people on the boat specifically, but I do think there's been a small amount of yip yap between a couple of them, but not recently.
Okay.
And most of this was stuff from people that Paul didn't really know.
Okay.
It was some people that he knew distantly, but more times than not, when I learned about it, it was somebody that he didn't know.
Okay.
It's like, for example, he went out in Charleston a couple months ago, came back, he got a black eye. And, he can't defend himself right now because he has these charges. So, Paul was a real tough man's man. He would just...
He would defend himself, but he hadn't been.
That's right, but...
How was he handling that case? Looming over everybody?
As far as what?
How was he handling it?
I've never been prouder of him than the way he has handled the pressures and the adversity in that situation. I think I've told Danny that before. I mean, Paul is a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful kid. He can do almost anything. He gets along with almost anybody.
Do y'all store any weapons out here?
We don't store them, but they're frequently out here. I need to find out if there were any out here, because I know there was a shotgun. There was a 12-gauge shotgun out here. I'll have to find out exactly when that was. I think it got put up, but I'm not positive.
What did that shotgun look like?
It was a camouflage. I want to say it was a Benelli or maybe a Beretta. I can't remember which brand it is. But I don't think it was out here recently. But I'm not positive.
And the shotgun that you had when deputies pulled up, where did that come from?
I went to the house and I got a gun. Probably overreacting, but...
And was that when you pulled up and saw them?
No, I came out and, I called 911 first. Talked to them for a little while, and then I told her.
You told her?
That I was going to go to the house.
Okay.
And that I would let authorities know when they got here that I had a gun.
Okay. Do you happen to have a list of all your guns?
I can make one. I don't have one, but I can make one.
Okay. Well, I'm just saying, so we could compare if that shotgun was out here and now it's missing.
Absolutely.
Try to figure that out.
No, absolutely.
And I know living out here in the country, you probably have more than one or two.
We do. We probably have 20, 25 guns.
Yeah. Shotguns, rifles.
Pistols.
Any rifles?
Yes, sir.
What kind of rifles?
All kinds.
Yeah.
All kinds. You name it, across the board, we have them.
Okay.
And all of them we have are, in a hunting room in our house.
What was their schedule today? When did they get home?
My son works for my brother, and he was coming home to deal with the sunflowers. He got here. He got here pretty early because he and I rode around looking at everything for a good little while, probably 45 minutes to an hour. Maggie had things she did in Charleston, and she had a doctor's appointment in Charleston, and she got back here. It was fairly late.
Was it dark yet when Paul got home?
No, Paul got home early.
Early, okay. So before dinner time? Before
Oh, yes, ma'am.
lunchtime? Or
No, ma'am.
okay.
What brother does Paul work for?
John Marvin,
And what does Paul do for him?
everything.
Just handyman?
Yes, sir.
Was it unusual for Maggie to feed the dogs this time of night or check on them?
Oh, no. I mean, she played with those dogs all the time. And it's especially common for her to, you know, she's been gone for a while, to come and let especially two of them out to run.
Okay, so she pretty regularly comes out here in the evenings.
Very regularly.
Okay.
She comes out here a lot.
Do you have any cameras on your property?
I have deer cameras, but none, you know, around up here
Where are they at?
on different deer stands.
Okay, so deep in the woods.
Well, not necessarily deep in the woods. Some of them are in fields, and
Okay.
but I don't. There's none that, you know, are near here.
Okay.
What doctor's appointment? What doctor did Maggie see today?
I forget the guy's name. Maggie's been having trouble with her. She's been having trouble with her stomach and her tooth. I'm not positive. It was sort of a routine visit, and I can't remember. She told me the name of him, and I can't. I want to say Gordine
Okay.
is who I think she saw.
So was she back home around supper time? Or 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock?
I don't think she got back quite that early. I think she got back a little bit later than that.
Okay. What did you do today? Were you at the office or?
Nope, I was home. I came home. Paul and I messed around. I was up at the house. I laid down, took a nap on the couch, probably, I don't know, 25, 30 minutes. I got up, I called Maggie, didn't get an answer, and I left to go to my mom's. She had said she might ride with me, but she normally doesn't when I go over there. And I think I texted her. And she's very good about answering the phone, so that was odd, or calling me back. So that was odd, but it wasn't that big a deal.
Now, what time was that?
What time was what?
That you sent her a text message?
All right. I texted her at 9:08, going to check on M, be right back. And then I texted her at 9:47. That must be when I started to come back. I think I called her before that. But let me make sure. Pretty sure that I called her 9:45. And then I tried Paul. And then, no, I think that was riding. I think that might have been riding over there. 10:03. I mean, my calls are right here.
Yeah.
So, obviously this is when This is when I, at 10:06, can I have a piece of that gum?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Take the coffee.
Anybody else want some gum?
No, sir.
You don't have any water, do you, Danny? That's all right. I don't need it.
If you behind Danny's head is a case of water.
It's not a big deal.
Yeah, I got some right here.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you, ma'am.
I'm sure we're going to have much more questions.
I'm available at, you let me know. You let me know.
What's another number in case I can't get you on your cell?
I don't have a house phone.
Okay.
An office number. I can give you my brother's cell phones.
All right. What's Randy's?
Okay, Randy's is 803-943-8881.
And John's?
John Marvin's is 843-321-5508.
And you said your dad's in the hospital?
Yes, sir.
Which hospital? Charleston or
Savannah, Candler, St. Joseph's.
Is he doing okay or what's?
He's having a really, really hard time. He's got a lot going on.
Okay.
He's doing okay given everything, but he's got a lot going on.
About Maggie's family, where are they?
Somerville.
Have you been in touch with them tonight?
Contacted, yes. I had my brother call Bart, the wife of his sister, the husband of Maggie's sister, so that they could go and tell Maggie's parents. I felt like they needed to hear it in person. And they are going there and calling me. So they must not be there yet.
Maggie's parents in Somerville?
Yes. And her mom just had a knee replacement surgery, and her dad really has trouble getting around nowadays.
Do you have any other children?
I do. I have a 24-year-old.
That's right, you said it. What's his name?
Buster. Well, Richard Alexander Jr.
Okay. He goes by Buster.
He goes by Buster.
Is he here tonight?
He's on his way.
Okay. Laura, you got anything?
This one's hard, but when you first saw Paul, you said you tried to flip him over. Was he laying on his back or on his stomach?
Just like he is.
Just like he is. So you weren't able to move him. Okay.
No, ma'am.
Okay. And did he help Maggie a lot out here with the animals?
He helped everybody with everything.
Okay, so it was kind of routine for him to be out here as well in the evening?
This place is his absolute passion.
Okay.
I tried to turn him, and then I checked him, and I think I already knew, but I checked him.
And when you first pulled into the property, did you come from this direction where all our police cars are, or which way did you come
I
in?
went to the house,
Okay.
and then I came from the house
This way.
straight here. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
I mean, where my vehicle was parked is probably
Is where it was. Okay.
well, no, maybe not exactly, but it was pretty close because I
Okay.
came back the same route
That's right, because you went back to get your shotgun.
when I came
Okay.
back.
All right. I can't think of anything else right now, but you know, we'll certainly be in touch.
Thank y'all for everything y'all are doing.
Yes, sir. So, you know, just to kind of let you know what's going to go on, we're going to be out here for quite some time. The coroner will take custody of Paul and Maggie.
Can I answer that?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. What? No, let me. We're finished. Let me come out. Well, I'll be here when he gets here. No, don't let him come up here. Okay, yeah. I think we're about done. All right, thank you. So, I'm sorry.
Buster, get in here. Okay.
Yes, sir. I dropped my card.
That's okay.
We'll get you
Another
another
one? Sorry.
I'll get you one.
Here you go.
Thank you.
You know, so the coroner will come over and talk to you. You know, they'll do the autopsy and everything, and then go from there.
Thank you.
But we'll come see you before we leave.
Thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
Thank you,
Yes,
Miss Rutland.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much.
Here, you want this water?
Oh, yes, please. Thank you.
Yep.
Okay, so quite the interview. Did anybody want to see any part of that over? Did anybody have a question about anything? There was a fake tap on the back. Teresa says he had the one time enters her back really bad when she says, "What time was that?" And a couple times he gets short. You don't know what to think, but he's not really crying. There's no tears. There's absolutely no tears. And like they said, you are in shock. A lot of people can't cry because of the shock, but he is like crying though, but no tears. So it's not like he's not crying and he's just in shock. He acts like he's crying, but there's no tears. So that's weird, because then it sounds like he's putting that on, right? Because it's one thing if he's not crying because he's in shock, which is normal, as these guys said, but he's crying, but there's no tears. And all of that spitting and that, it's like so gross.
That was gross.
Yeah, that's really gross.
What was the thing, Carolyn, about his phone? Like, he said he had that number on his phone, but he didn't have his phone.
Yeah,
but
that
he
was
did
a weird thing. He's like, "Yeah, I'll get it for you. It's on my phone." What's the phone you have now? And it was such a small little iPhone. That's why I was laughing and saying he's got like an iPhone 5S or something. So it looked like that. That was just weird that he said that, because it sounded like a slip. Because if it's on his phone, why couldn't he retrieve it?
Yeah.
He has a couple of phones. Were these replacement phones? What was the deal with that? So yeah, that was weird. Very odd. Let me see if I can go back to that spot. Where is it? right on here. Let's see.
Some of
Yeah,
those
what's
looks
that?
in the video. There's the one at the very
You know, but I
end.
do think him and Paul got along pretty well. That's
There's
just
not so
really,
many apps on that phone either. There's only
really
like
weird.
6 apps.
All right. CB. Here, I know he called me, so I'll go to that. Okay.
843-540-9335.
You need to get that phone on the charge, Alec, if you can.
Is that an iPhone?
Yes, sir.
Watch your leg for a second, please.
Thank you.
When did he tell that story to Paul?
Sometime last week.
Okay.
Sometime last week. My son Paul actually, and I really do not think, on all honesty, that it's him, but I know y'all got to check it out. But Paul was so taken aback by it that he sent, I'll find it, I got it on my phone. He recorded him saying bits and pieces of it.
Okay.
No.
I don't know. Got it on my phone. It's weird. Someone give him a call. They're all coughing in there. Y'all obviously need an interpreter for Southern? Okay. Well, so let's see what else we have. And then, so the one in the back there, she was that's Rutland, said she served the warrants, the Mercedes was towed, tracks were looked at. The next witness was Delilah Serencian, and she was a crime scene unit. On the crime scene unit, let's see, she's talked a lot about the buccal swab collections, and she was basically just shown a lot of baggies for the buccal swabs from Paul and Maggie, and she talked about, you know, passcodes getting in the phones. It was all about the evidence. They just kept bringing the bags up to her. She stepped down, and then Melinda Worley took the stand, and Melinda Worley was there. There's going to be so many memes made about Melinda Worley trying to open that package that they had to even take a break, and when she came back, she was still opening it. Yeah, there's going to be so many memes made about that. But anyway, that was basically what Melinda Worley, she's at the senior criminologist, forensic services lab. She's a qualified expert on tire impression. She explains the protocol. When they're doing stuff, it's usually gloves. They said, well, is it normal to have booties on outdoor crime scenes? She said no. They asked her about the microscopic evidence. If you're, you know, constantly looking for that at the outdoor crime scene, she said no, we swab for that. Took her 2 hours to get to the crime scene because she had to respond from Columbia. And let me get the other things up here that I have for this. Hang on. You see, I restarted my... Yeah, hang on, let me grab this. Hang on. had everything ready. And I even have the stuff to show you. Just 1 second, let me pull this up. So I have the photos, and I had to restart my Google Chrome. So just give me a minute. Okay, now that's pulling up. Over here. Okay. And I had all of my stuff done. Okay. Right. Everything in a gallery, and I just pull this up here. Okay. Okay. So I just want to get the. Here we go. Hang on. Hang on. Sounds really Murdaugh. Isn't it weird that his name? That's probably why he wants it pronounced Murdaugh, because it sounds like murder. Okay. All right, so we have some pictures here I'm going to pull up. All right, let me pull these up. So this is